In 1943, against the backdrop of World War II, the founders of the Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies, Paul Nitze and Christian Herder, saw the need to create a new generation of leaders to help build and guide a new world order.
After World War II, the entire world was intent on not having that sort of catastrophe before us again.
The assumption was that America, especially in the aftermath of World War II, was going to be a world power and was going to have enormous responsibilities.
Located in Washington, SAIS was in fact created thinking about the role of the United States generally. So one can say SAIS has had a very large influence on the creation of American foreign policy.
From the very beginning, SAIS was forward-leaning. We had women scholars in our first class, and we moved very quickly to open campuses in other parts of the world, Bologna and later Nanjing. We have students from literally all over the globe.
Students from far-flung corners of the planet all brought together in this incredibly stimulating academic microcosm.
Granted, we might speak Mandarin, we might speak French. We have more in common than we have in differences.
It's just a real breeding ground for smart, successful, international people. And those are the people I always wanted to be around.
The great thing about a SAIS education is that there's a kind of fusion that goes on in the mind of the students because they're getting expertise in many different areas.
The fact that I could study international economics with Isaiah Frank, international relations with Robert Osgood, Middle East with Fuad Ajami.
SAIS has always attracted exceptional scholars and practitioners to share the breadth and depth of their experience on the world stage with our students.
I've heard from world leaders and policymakers from all across the world, and the SAIS education really fits into how to work with governments, but also how to think about development.
SAIS gave me a foundation in how to think about the world, how to think about problems, what economics can do as a guide to policy.
And now we are expanding the curriculum to include new disciplines, and we look forward to our spectacular new building and a much deeper engagement with other divisions of this great university. That's why I believe this is the most exciting time in the history of the school since its founding.
Through the decades since the creation of SAIS, through the Cold War, nuclear proliferation, terrorism, and much else besides, SAIS students have been there, keen not just to understand what was going on, but to shape it.
SAIS has launched more than 20,000 graduates into careers of statecraft and service, unleashing a cadre of leaders dedicated to solving our greatest global challenges.
My job now allows influencing human rights policy at the highest levels. I give SAIS all the credit in the world for almost all the professional success that I've had.
And SAIS gave me a better foundation of things that are important to how you govern, how well you balance the interests of the United States with the broader interests of the healthy global economy.
When I'm anchoring the news, so much of what I learned is still so useful. I think everything I learned at SAIS has helped prepare to make me a better journalist.
I've written a lot about womenomics, how to leverage half the population, and SAIS was invaluable in helping me start my career.
I can tell you, I had SAIS on my mind as I was doing my swearing-in ceremony, that was the foundation that has led me through my career.
Institutions of teaching, what they accomplish the most are their students. And SAIS has a very important mission, trying to sort out what is an incredibly complex period, as was 1943. So the mission, 75 years later, is alive and well.